Hello and welcome to another episode of Real Conversation. I'm your host, Nicole Jones,
And I'm Quanta Terry.
and we would like to thank you guys for joining us tonight. We have a great show for you. But before we get started, I would like to say hello over there to my co-host, Juana Terry. How you doing, girl? You looking amazing as always.
I am doing great, Nicole. It's just been a crazy day, but you know how that goes. It's always something, but you just keep pushing. Thank you. And you look amazing as well. Love the hair to the side. Yeah,
Oh, thank
I
you.
see you or whatever.
I'm trying. I'll be trying.
Looking good, looking good. I hope you got enough rest today. Um, and you're ready to tackle this whole show. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. We
All
are
right.
ready. We are ready to get started.
Yes, yes, yes. So, I guess Nicole, you could introduce the first topic.
Oh, okay. You know how we all heard like crazy stories about Wendy Williams, right? So basically, her what is it? They had her under guardianship, right? And they were saying that she had dementia, right? But it just came out that she does not have dementia after 3 long years. And I think that's just ridiculous. How is it that for 3 years they've been saying that this, she's been sick. She can't take care of things on her own because of, whatever was going on. But now, 3 years later, she's good to go.
So they're saying it was a misdiagnosis. I need some more context on that.
They're not saying that there's a mixed diagnosis. They just said that there's new tests that clears that after 3 years, and under her guardianship, that she no longer has the dementia, which is crazy. If you did you see her movie?
No, I do not. And to be honest, I do not follow anything Wendy. I don't look up anything Wendy. So this is all. So I knew about the dementia, but that's as far as I got. I never like read into it or anything like that because I generally wasn't interested. But I'm sure you can shed some light on it.
Okay, so basically, there is a movie out there. I think it came out like a few years ago. This is still when she still had the talk show. Okay,
Okay.
you remember when that situation was Halloween and she had the Statue of Liberty costume and she fainted on live? You don't remember any
No,
of that?
yeah,
It was all
no.
over the news. It was on social media everywhere. So basically, she was going through a lot, and because her husband at the time, he was cheating on her. She found out that he bought a house.
That's
Um,
what I remember. I remember her going through issues with her husband who actually had a baby or something like that, or something to that effect. I remember that particular story.
yeah. So throughout their relationship or whatever, Wendy's been pregnant several times. She only had one child. Wendy had a weak cervix that can hold her babies. So the baby before Kevin Jr., she lost that baby. She found out that she had to push that baby out because she was like 5, 6 months or something like that. Well, that happened. She ended up having Kevin Jr. Fast forward, right after she has Kevin Jr., she finds out that her husband is cheating.
Mm.
And then let's fast forward again. When she finds out, she's done. She wants a divorce or whatever. And then Kevin basically, he was the guardianship. He was the one over her, which I didn't even know that. I watched the movie when it first came out, and I just happened to watch the movie again just 2 days ago. And then
Um,
this came out on
this
my timeline.
all right. There's something missing in this because you said after she had the baby, after she found out about her husband, then you said he had guardianship. Was it just something that she granted to him prior to her going through this bout with dementia? Like, I'm confused.
So hold on. Um, she had the baby. Um, she found that he cheated. I'm sorry because I'm jumping timelines. She
Okay.
had the baby. Kevin Jr. was just born. She found out he was cheating. After that, that's what she, every time she said that she wanted a divorce, he would basically get her to come back or whatever, not leave. So when that situation happened on live, when she fainted in the Statue of Liberty costume, that's when he got the guardianship over her because he was her husband.
Okay, all right. So that makes sense. Yeah. So it's
Yes.
not like it's something that he did maliciously. It's just legally because he was her spouse.
Right.
You know,
What
he
he
had
did,
he had that.
that was illegal was trying to make her unfit to do everything.
Mm.
Yeah, like while she was in the hospital, he was sitting up there, obviously dealing with the other woman, doing all the things that he was doing, spending her money. He bought everything with her money. And what made her, end up in the state that she was in was because of all the turmoil that she's dealt with within her relationship. And I guess, it was like the end of it. Like she broke at the very end. Like the last, how it's like, that's it, we can't take no more. I think that's what happened.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it was more like a trauma response, like stress to
Yes.
what was going on. So she fainted, probably because her body, she was emotionally, physically spent, and it probably did. I don't know how hard she fell, but it probably did affect her brain, her cognitive situation. So
She came right back after she went, and she literally came back to TV. She was back on TV right
Okay,
after.
so where does the dementia come in?
So the dementia came in after that. So when she started, he tried to make her. How can I say this? He tried to make her. Listen, I don't remember. All I know is, according to the movie, she came back and she was fine. And then, if you remember, after she separated herself from him, it was all in media. She basically was she started dating all these young guys, and they were saying that whatever it is that she was doing, she was spending money. They tried to say that she was back on drugs. That's just like when he was trying to say that she was doing things that she was supposed to have been doing because she was drinking a lot. She was drinking a lot at that time because all the stuff that she was dealing with. But she said she was never back on drugs.
All right, so the effects of, I'm just trying to get to the dementia part. So, because all that extra stuff, it's not adding up, so it's not connecting for me. So I'm just trying to figure out. So she had frontal temporal dementia. She was diagnosed with that, right?
Mhm.
And
That was
then,
that was after everything. That was when
okay,
that's when they took her off the air. Remember, they kept having people come in to sit in for her. She never returned after that. So whatever was happening at that time, her guardianship deemed her to be unfit to manage her money and everything
hmm
else. So when
okay,
that stuff type of stuff started happening, I didn't know who her guardianship was. You know, I know he was at that time, but
hmm
it seems like I believe he still was. Because even though they
mm,
were getting a divorce, I believe that he was still over everything with her. Because
okay,
if I remember correctly, I think at that time their son was just about to be 18 years old.
mm.
Yeah.
So now they're saying that she does not have, so for whatever reason, she was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia. And she had been going through treatments and getting whatever, taking medication for 3 years. And now they're saying that she no longer has frontotemporal dementia. And so, what is the reason behind them saying that she no longer has it?
They're
Like,
just
what
saying, they're just
diagnosis?
saying the new test. They just did new
Uh,
test. She's been saying for years that she didn't have, that she remembers. They keep saying this, they keep saying that, but there's nothing wrong with me. She's been saying that forever.
okay.
Um, and if you might not remember, but I remember I want to say maybe a year ago, that it came out that she finally got hands on her money again. Like no one was
Mm,
controlling her money. So now that she's in control, it seems like everything else is getting back to
she's
back
back
to
to normal.
yeah,
Okay. Well, I'm glad that she's back to normal.
absolutely.
It definitely is tough when you're being labeled as something or labeled or someone telling you that you have something that you don't feel like you do have. So I'm glad that she's back to normal. I'm sure that the medication and maybe therapies have helped her through this, and now she's back to business and doing whatever it is that she needs to do for herself. So I'm glad she doesn't have the dementia that they're talking about. I don't know if it was reversed or whatever have you, but I'm happy
It
she doesn't
doesn't,
have it. So.
it doesn't reverse. Dementia does not reverse. There's no
Hmm.
cure for dementia. Once you have it, that's it.
Right.
There's one I would say there's this elderly lady back in New York who had it, and it was crazy because I remember her sound. She used to sound like a baby, and then shortly before she died, she started speaking again,
Mm.
and then she passed on.
Miracles
Yeah,
happen every single day. So, in this instance, it seems like it reversed because they're saying that she no longer has it. So I don't know, but
or maybe
I'm
she
so happy for
never had it,
Wendy.
or maybe she
Yeah,
never had it, and they were just trying to control her money. That's it.
mm,
You
could
know,
be. Yeah, you never know if they were in cahoots with the doctors. So,
right?
all right. Well, so the next topic with Donald Trump, y'all. He's ordering air traffic controllers to get back to work during his government. As we can just let you know, of course, everyone knows this. The government is we're in the midst of the longest government shutdown ever, um, and the airports are crazy. Everything is going awry, and people are like, "I'm not coming to work if you're not paying me." Period. So now he's ordering air traffic controllers to get back to work, and I know Nicole, you had some more to add to this story.
I mean, not only is he, ordering for them to get back to work, but he is also offering those who never left work $10,000 bonus.
No,
That's a
really.
nice incentive for not, leaving work. Because I know during COVID, when I was at work, we never left, and we didn't get no form of incentives like that. I wish I did get something like that, but I mean, you got to understand the people who did not come to work. I'm sure they didn't just not show up to work. I mean, if you're not getting paid, a lot of these people are working check to check, you
Yeah.
know. And if I can't get to work, how am I supposed to get there? It's not like they're carpooling. They're not getting paid. You got to make it
And
make sense.
speaking of, if you can give $10,000 incentives to air traffic controllers, there are people who are still affected by not having their SNAP benefits. So you're talking about giving money to somebody just for them to come back to work to direct some airplanes. But you don't want to give the order to release the benefits for these people who actually need it. Just make it make sense. Like I just don't see the logic in a lot of the things that he does. Yeah, great. $10,000 bonus is awesome, but release the money for people to be able to eat.
Right? Absolutely.
It's just crazy to me. Really, really crazy. Yeah, so he just has to make it make sense. I think he's worried about the wrong things. While, yeah, we do need the air traffic controllers to get back to work, but we also need the American people to have food in their in their homes, especially with the holidays coming up. And I believe I heard something about the SNAP benefits being pushed back for November and December, which is insane. So, I mean, he's just worried about the wrong things, but when it comes to the air traffic controllers, speaking of, we're talking about the airports, right? With the FAA cuts, there's so many cancellations and delays at these airports. I saw that the Philly airport had closed down their TSA lines, so many of them. It was like
Wow.
crazy. at the Philly airport because people weren't reporting to work. Oh, I'm not getting paid. No, I'm not coming. So it was it was like pandemonium there. Like the amount of lines that were there, and the people were just waiting for their flights, and then because you know, the air traffic controllers or I don't know, the captains or something, there was just so many delays in flights, so or cancellations as well. So I'm like, dang, this government shutdown is just it is causing so much ruckus, and I think it's unnecessary. I think that these people need to bypass partisanship right now and vote the way they're supposed to vote, so that we can get back to normal because this is insane. I don't know, Nicole. What you think?
I agree with you. I mean, I think that whatever's going on, whatever Congress can't, agree upon should never affect the American people. It should never
Mhm.
affect, the movements of how these planes, the people who are going to work, so these planes can operate properly, so these flights won't be canceled. It's just dumb. I mean, the world still got to go, right? And I know
Yeah.
people from everywhere else is just laughing upon us right now because why is it that we can't be united? Like, why is it that we can't figure this crap out? It
In
doesn't
the
make
United States of America. Like,
right. Make it make
but
sense.
yeah. And I went, I just, as you know, I came back from Iceland, went to Iceland, came back, and there were no lines. The TSA lines in the international terminal was fine. They were moving, they were doing whatever. And I came back, with global entry, we were fine. I had no delays when it came to checking in and out of the airport. So I don't know if this is more so affecting the domestic the domestic flights that are coming in and out,
Yes.
but that's what it's affecting.
Yes,
Okay.
because
All
there
right.
there was a posting that I came across that stated that it was actually a captain of the for the planes. He said that
Mm.
domestic flights are the only ones that's being canceled. That if you have an international flight, you are guaranteed to fly out.
Yeah, okay, that's
I
what it
think
is.
that's what some of
So,
it is. They're guaranteed to fly
yeah.
out. So should the domestic.
Hmm.
Everyone's flights is just as important. Everyone has to get to where they got to get to.
Yeah, but our government is shut down, no one else's.
No, I understand that, but
So I
it's
guess
the
that's what
same
the issue is.
because if you're still flying out of the states though.
But you fly out of different terminals because the international terminals are different than the domestic.
No, yeah,
So,
agree.
so it's they may have, like, I know that they're in certain areas, in certain airports, they have a whole different whole different team ready
Yeah.
to assist those people that are flying in and out internationally. So I don't know, but I just hope this ends soon because I'm over this, and I know it's a pain point for me, but I know it's a pain point for those people who are traveling. We're coming up on a holiday season. People are trying to go see their families, and this is just a mess, and it's a mess that he has the authority to just shut down and say, you know what, no, this is over with. We're going to reinstate everything, but
So I'm just glad that supposedly everything is back up and running by the end of this week or next week. All the flights are
mm,
going to be good to go. So look forward to that.
oh, thank the Lord, thank the Lord. So our president, I don't know, sometimes he doesn't think on behalf of the American people. He makes these decisions that affect us, but they affect us negatively.
Right.
Case in point, okay, him telling us that he wants to bring in a 50-year mortgage loan. Okay, talk about this. Let's talk about Nicole. If I am 40 years old buying my first home and I get a 50-year mortgage loan, that means that my home is paid off when I'm 90 years old. I mean, provided I don't add any additional money to the payments, right? 90 years old. What and he his excuse for this, or his reasoning for it, is saying, okay, this will lower payments substantially. My thing is this. This is him putting a band-aid over the fact that housing in America is super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to put a band-aid on that fact. And then if I take it a step further, having a 50-year mortgage loan will more than double the interest that that the banks are going to make to pay back that loan. So basically the banks are getting rich. And what I do know is when you put your loan out that far, that equity is not going to build as fast as it normally does.
Mm.
So many people use the equity in their home to
Refinance and stuff like that.
refi to do renovations, to do to do debt consolidation. They do that. They use that because it's usually a lower term and a lower rate for a mortgage home equity loan,
Okay.
right? So, but if you don't have any equity in your home, you can't do that. So it's like while he says it's going to lower payments, there's going to be so many other things that happen if this actually goes through. Because right now there's a law that says mortgages can only go up to 30 years. So I don't know if he plans to repeal that and then push it up to the 50 years. I'm unsure, but when he announced that on Tuesday, I was like, "Yo, sir, what? What are we talking about?" And those of us in finance are looking at it like, "Wait, what? What?" You know, I do not want to be paying my mortgage back for 50 years. I do not. So, and then potentially, here's how this works, right? If at 40 I get a mortgage loan, and because we're talking about 90, that's my mortgage loan will expire at 90 years old. I will have paid it off at 90. But what if I die at 75? That means that my family has to deal with that loan. That house is no longer going to be in the family because that loan is not paid off. Somebody has to take out a loan or use life insurance or whatever it is. It just creates a whole nother headache
Right.
for the family of the deceased if that's the case. But girl,
Hold
I
on. Let
was
me
like, this
something you
man,
said. Hold on. I'm sorry. You just said something in regards to if the person dies at 75 and they have until 90 years old to pay off that loan, right? So you're
mm,
saying that if the family member has the money to pay off the loan, they can't just pay off the loan because it was in the person's name, other person's name, the person that died.
no, they can because it's going to go to the estate. So if
Okay.
the money is there, they can pay off the loan. And what it does is, so, but the problem is that the interest that it has accrued because now the payments are so low, the interest that they're going to be paying over the life of the loan is a lot more.
Yeah.
So while you do cut some of the interest, you're still paying way more interest than you would have paid if it was a 30-year mortgage or even a 15-year mortgage.
Right.
But if that person, say for instance, that person passes away at 85, if they got their mortgage at 40, 30 years, it would have been paid off at 70.
Mm-hmm.
The family would not have to have that headache of trying to figure out what they're going to do with the home.
Right.
If for or just with the mortgage itself, like they would have to take money out of the life insurance to pay off the mortgage loan. And in some cases, people are not going to keep the home like that if it's not paid off. They're gonna be like, all right, give it back to the bank, let the bank have it, and let them deal with the foreclosure of it or whatever else. But it's just a lot. The stuff that he does is mind-boggling. Just the things that he's proposing right now, and I don't see how it's fixing the economy. I think that we're more in debt. He said that we were going to have the greatest economy ever. And I feel like he's like, I'm going to take this in the right direction. Yeah, he's taking us in the right direction. He's taking us backwards, and it's annoying me. And I'm just, it's a lot. Girl, I have a lot to say about that, but I just won't.
Yeah. I don't know
Anyway.
anything about purchasing homes or anything like that when it comes to mortgage. Speak to Quana, okay?
It's just a lot. I'm like, oh my God, this man, he's just doing so many different things that. is hurt. It's going to hurt the American people, not help us. And
Right.
I don't know, but a lot of it, if you look at it from the back end, it's a lot of it to keep the banks' pockets fatter. You know what I'm saying? And while he's like, oh, this is a lower mortgage rate or mortgage payment, when you look at the fine print, say for instance, if your home was like $500,000, you would pay maybe like, depending upon the interest rate, we'll say maybe you'd be paying over 150,000 in interest. If you're doing this over 50 years, you're standing to double your interest, meaning that you end up paying $1.2 million for a freaking $500,000 home. The
That makes
hell?
no
Ain't nobody
sense.
gonna sign up for that. People might as well rent. That's crazy. I was like, this man, I'm about, yeah, it's whatever. Anyway, but and you know what? Speaking of all the mess that he has going on, right, with us and what people can't afford, there's a lady, an elderly woman, right, who could not afford her husband's medication. Nicole, you can go into that.
I felt really sad when I seen this post. This young lady, 91 years old, she basically went to go, she stole her husband's medicine. The medicine is usually like $50 out of pocket, and it went up to $900. They don't have the money. Her husband, needs the medicine, urgently, and they arrested her. Like, look at her. Why are you arresting her? And why is it that her insurance or whatever it is that she has, and she can't get the medicine that her husband needs? Like, there's a problem there. There's literally a problem there.
Yeah, when it comes to that, it's like, oh my gosh, at 91, she should not have to do any of that. She should be set, ready. Her husband should be okay as far as his medicine is concerned. It's like they don't even think about big pharma is not even thinking about the people who can't afford these medications, and they're making updates to insurances all the time, and omitting certain medications that people need. It's just
That
horrible. Now, you
doesn't
said she
make sense.
stole the medication. Like, what happened? They filled it and then she rolled out of the pharmacy with it? Like, what happened?
So, so
Because I need to know.
all, all I seen is that they had this picture, and the caption was just saying that her husband, urgently needed the medicine, and she got arrested for stealing the medicine. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. There should be no reason why she would have to steal this medicine.
I'm,
I don't
I'm
know.
concerned about how she stole it because it's like,
It doesn't say how she stole it. Um, oh, I was wrong. It went up to $950, the medicine, but it doesn't say how she stole it. It just says that she,
hmm,
trying to steal it. I'm
that's
sorry.
weird.
Correction. She was trying to steal it. That's my fault.
Oh,
She was trying.
okay. So they must have filled it and she was about to walk out of the pharmacy with that joint.
She was trying to steal it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that makes more sense. Okay,
Yeah.
because I'm
I'm
like, how
sorry.
did she like what? Because
Yeah.
any medicine that's $950, that ain't gonna be on the shelf. They ain't
No,
gonna
no,
be
no,
at
no. Definitely not
CVS.
gonna be on the show.
So it was
No,
it was it was filled, and she tried to walk out with it. That's
probably.
my assumption that I'm making.
But I think
Oh,
they need to figure something out when it comes to these elderly people. She's 91. Her husband
yeah,
is 88 years old, and if he that means she's desperate because he
yeah,
needs it. And there should be no reason why anyone in her age bracket should have to feel like they have to steal something just so they can get it back to the person that needs it. That's just ridiculous.
yeah. It's so sad. You
Yeah.
know. Well, I hope they let her off because that's not cool. And just the fact that she felt like she had to take it there, like she had to steal it, it just tells you the climate that we're in today with with the where the economy is. It just gives you that is a perfect example of where we are today financially,
Hmm.
where the American people are. It just really sucks. So hopefully they let off with good behavior or something,
I
or
hope
they
the
dismiss the
judge
case or something like that because I would hate that. Mm.
I hope the judge, finds remorse, and has remorse in his heart and just let it just go, because just imagine that's your grandmother, that's your mother, and she's trying to, help her significant other. Like if he doesn't get it, I'm assuming that he's gonna, die or
Yeah.
something, because it says he urgently needs it. Like
Yeah. Taking a step further,
that's
I'm
crazy.
hoping that they get her help
Yes,
to assist with the surmounting prices of medication these days. So I'm hoping to get her some type of help, so that this is not an option that she decides to. This is not a route that she decides to take going forward. She
but
has
it's
the
not
help. She
just
knows she can
her.
afford it.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
good.
passionate about this because I remember being at the pharmacy filling my prescription, and I seen this lady. She wasn't elderly or anything like that, but she was in tears because her insurance decided that they wasn't covering what she needed, and she didn't have the funds. And it's messed up because when these doctors sit here and they prescribe something for you to help whatever your situation is, if you
Yeah.
have insurance, it shouldn't matter what the medicine is, it should be covered. That's what you have insurance for. That's what it's for. It shouldn't matter. Any surgeries, any medication, anything that is needed, it should be good. Everywhere else you go, that medic their what's it called?
Health insurance.
Huh? No, the medical expenses are at no cost to the person who needs it. They're all free. It's only in the United States that we actually paying for this stuff. So it's
Well,
like,
so I was in Iceland, right? And we had a conversation with a gentleman that we met at the bar. And we talked about medical insurance. He says everybody has medical insurance. It pays for everything. But what he did say is that if you have a terminal illness like cancer or something like that, or diabetes, and you need some type of medication for that, you have to get supplemental insurance,
okay.
to pay for those types of things or any surgeries. But for the most part, if you're just going for a checkup, those things are free, which is similar to us. But we don't pay. They don't pay for like health insurance out of pocket for their like through their job or something like that. It's given to them freely. They can go to the doctor if they need to and get whatever they need. However, if there is, like I said, something else that will cause for them to need surgery or any type of other treatment,
Mhm.
then they have to pay for supplemental insurance, which I understand. Here, they make us pay for insurance through our jobs, right? And then even then, we still have to pay a copay if we need to go to the doctor, something like that. Like so, but so theirs is a little bit different, but and I guess that's a European country, so there's a little bit different. But I think that if they can offer that,
Mhm.
America should be able to have some sort of provision just like that. I don't know why we have not moved to um, free health insurance. I don't know why we haven't moved to that avenue yet. And where, because a lot of other countries have that already.
Yeah, because Canada has it as well. I have,
Yeah.
friends who moved over there, and they explained it to me a few years ago, where it's like it's good to have, but at the same time, he said, there are certain things that are here in the States that are actually better when it comes to our medical treatment. He said, but other than that, like you just explained in the guy that you met in Iceland, everything else is free. But if it's something
Yeah.
that costs more money, they might have to supplement it, which is, yeah, it's okay. Like that's like having a what's that thing called that you pay extra into it? We talk about it all the time.
Like
Um,
the health savings accounts, flexible savings accounts, things of that
flexible
nature.
savings, the flexible savings.
Mhm.
So like it should be free, and then you put into your flexible savings. So if it does come up that you need extra money for something, you have it in that already. That's what
Yeah,
you
yeah.
be taking out for flexible savings, not just for the medical. You got a job, you have insurance. That's just how it should be.
Mm, agreed,
Or
man.
in
That's
general,
crazy.
period. You know,
Just in general.
yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy because yeah. Well, I'm hoping, hopefully, Nicole, you give us an update on that next week. When it comes to this 91-year-old woman, what they decided to do with her, and also how they decided to help her navigate through the rising costs of health insurance as well as the medication. So,
Yeah, I would
I guess
definitely.
more to come on that.
Ho-
Thank you, Nicole.
Hopefully, I find something, but that just happened to come
You
across
should.
that. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Since we're talking about stuff that's not fair, oh my goodness, I came across this post. This woman, she felt that her ex stole her childbearing years.
Mm.
She feels that, her ex should pay for what's it called, IVF or freezing her eggs because she's been with him for like over 10 years or something like that. And whatever they decided to do, he decided that he wasn't ready for marriage and he wasn't ready to have children. She's 34 years old and she feels that he should pay for that. Like she's mad because, he went off of course. He's changing what it is that they spoke about. She calls it moral money. What do you think about that?
I think she tried it. I get her frustration. You've been with someone for 10, 11, 12 years, whatever it is, over a decade,
Hmm.
and it didn't pan out. But to be honest, there were some signs that would have shown her that he was not interested in getting married. Like there has to be more to the story, but do I feel like that he owes her IVF treatments? No, I don't feel like he owes her that, and no court of law will actually grant that. They
Hmm.
were not married. She chose to stay with this man. So if things didn't happen after 2 years or 3 years and she was worried about her age creeping up there and her not being able to conceive, why not do it when you turn 30? Because after 30, they say it's harder to get pregnant. So when you
Hmm.
were with him, why not just go and do IVF while you were with him? I'm pretty sure there was some conversation surrounding this, and she chose to stay. That's not his fault. Yeah, I mean, you can't make him pay for being an asshole because that's really what he is, an asshole, right? Now you
I
can't
mean,
make
I
him
wouldn't
pay for
say that
being
he's an
that.
asshole. I wouldn't say he's an asshole.
In
Um,
her eyes, in her eyes, she's saying, he stole her years and he should, he wants her, he wasted a decade of her life. No, 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 no.
I
You
would
also
say,
wasted a decade of your life.
I would say, I understand that, real men, they want to be able to take care of their family, from my understanding, right? I hear men say this all the time that they want to be able to protect and provide, and I even know someone who's married that you know even though yes she does have her own job, but her husband is the one that takes care of the bulk of everything, right? So maybe he's that type of dude that he wants to make sure that he is set, so before they get married, before they have children, that this is what it is. And but at the same time, like you said, there had to be signs to show that this is not something either he wanted with you or this is not something that he's ready for yet. And they freeze eggs now. You can freeze your eggs, and before it gets into that geriatric area, she could have froze her eggs to make sure that she was still good to go no matter what, making sure she has viable eggs, making sure that she can get pregnant, all kinds of stuff. um I don't agree with uh her trying to get money. Now the courts might entertain it, because they're entertaining people who cheat on their spouses now. They talk about finding them, so if they might entertain it, but to say that he has to pay for IVF or to freeze your eggs, for understanding, that's very expensive.
It
So
is very expensive. And again, 10 years of her life that she chose to stay in. After, okay, so you're talking about it. She's 34 years old, right? That means she would have gotten with him around 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
After 5 years, you're 29. No kids, depending upon the conversation that y'all had. Okay, I'm gonna be 30 soon. It may be hard to have a child. It poses a risk after a certain excuse me, after a certain year, after a certain age, right? And that's a conversation you have with your OBGYN. Hey, listen, I'm coming up on that time. What do you think I should do?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she wasn't. If she was, I mean, I can't. This is all speculation. She
Yeah.
should have been proactive in that because after 30, now you gave it 4 more years. You're really on the cusp of a high risk pregnancy, Like all these things factor in. And in my mind, I'm like, there had to have been conversations with this man about what he wanted, what he didn't want. And then you could have made an informed decision to say, you know what, I can't waste any more time with you. I need to go left. But you chose to stay. So I
Yeah.
don't know, child.
She did choose to stay because there are women that actually love these men, and they feel that whatever it is that he's saying, that's he's gonna be a man of his word, and just like the men got to be accountable for what it is that they do, the women also got to be accountable. It's all about accountability. It's all about, listen, if he's not doing what you guys spoke about, we got to be able to either, if we stay, you can't complain. But if you realize that you're not about to get what you want, you gotta, like, literally, leave. Boundaries have to be set. Okay, listen, I'm gonna give you this. If you end up, if this happens and we still not where we need to be, so things can be put in place to get to our end goal, I can't be here no more. You know,
Hmm.
and you have to stand 10 toes down on that. So, I feel bad for her. And it's not saying just because she's 34, she can't have kids. There's a lot of women that have kids in their 30, 40, 50, 60s, okay? They're having them, okay? But some women do have a hard time getting pregnant.
Hmm.
So that's not everybody, So I hope she does find the person, to help her get what it is that she's looking for. But yeah, you're wasting your time. You're wasting more time trying to get the money from this man so you can get the things that you want. Just find the guy that's going to give it to you for free.
Yeah, facts. It seems just more like, you know what, she's just hurt, and it's more like a revenge thing as well. Or he's gonna pay for this. He's gonna do that. No, he
Yeah.
doesn't have to, And I think again, it's a choice that both of them made, and the choice and unfortunately ended her up in this situation, but it's still again a choice that she made and that he made. So there's,
Absolutely.
like you said, a level of accountability that needs to be taken. So
Hmm.
mm-mm. Child, that's like people talking about they gonna waste my, people always saying like, okay, he wasted my time. I like, case in point, Jim Jones and Chrissy, right? How long they been together? She been waiting for a ring for a minute. Even proposed to him on
Well,
Love and Hip Hop. Remember?
but she proposed and he proposed the same night. So she got the ring and she got the baby, but she waited too long for all of that.
Listen, she have a baby. See, I don't even know what's going
Surrogate.
on.
Yes, through surrogate.
Oh, surrogate.
Yeah.
Okay, so and look, and they still aren't married, right? She's got a ring. Are they married?
They're not married, but I don't think it's because of Jim. I think it's because of Chrissy.
Right. So, but my thing is like all of those things, like Chrissy chose that, right? She
Yes.
chose to stay in that. She chose to deal with that.
Mhm.
Imagine her saying, "Listen, Jim, you wasted 25 years of my life. I'm gonna take you to court because I can't have a kid, or I have to go through IVF." Like that's the dumbest thing ever. That's the category I put this situation in. It's like,
That's actually
ma'am.
a great category. That was awesome because we spoke about them, like, I think a year ago when it came out that they broke up, because I believe she moved down to Atlanta and he was still, I think in Jersey, and they home in Jersey.
Mm,
And I was like, good for Chrissy, because after all these years, her sitting up there trying to get what it is that she wanted from this man, and he's not giving it to her. That's a waste of time. Now she can't have a baby now because at that time they didn't have the baby. But within this past year, they had a baby. Do surrogate though. So listen, but that was a perfect example of what this woman is doing.
Yeah,
Good job.
thank you. It's like, what the hell? Like, no, sorry, it's a messed up situation, but a situation you put yourself in.
Yeah,
Sorry, I don't think that this man should pay anything,
I mean, I agree with
and
that.
that's it. So you agree? All right,
I
cool.
do agree with that. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. Like we as women, we make these choices because we love these men, so we choose to stay. You can't get mad at a choice that you made. I mean,
Yeah,
you can, but at yourself.
period. Like that anger is displaced. Like
Yeah,
turn that thing around to you and say, oh shoot, I done messed up. I made this choice. But usually, when hindsight is always 2020 because
yeah,
when you're in it, you don't think about it, right? You don't think about all these things. And then after the fact, it's like, you know what? Maybe what was my part in that? You get to reflect after the smoke clears. And hopefully somebody gives her the business and actually is completely honest with her about what she's trying to do, what she's trying to make this man do, and reasons with her so that she can, move on with her life and be happy because it's nothing like still focusing on the past and trying to, you can't even start anything new with anybody because you still focus on the past. Hopefully she gets past this and moves on, like you said, with somebody who can give her what she needs. So
and it's crazy because it's this is the we fall in love with the man's potential, you know, and we gotta stop falling in love with the potential and look at what's right in our faces. It's not
yeah.
about what he can be, it's not what it is that he can give us. It's about what he is giving you. Look
Yeah.
at yeah,
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure she took stock of everything that, because sometimes when you get into these situations, you're like, okay, I didn't see it. And then you know what? You sit down, you're like, you know what? That thing was always there. Like it was always like this. He
hmm
never changed. We just refused to see it,
yeah,
or she never changed. I don't want to just put it on a man. She
right.
never changed. We just refused to see it. So yeah, unfortunately, she's in this predicament, but hopefully everything works out for her at the end.
Unless
Oh,
unless this situation was when he kept growing in his business, whatever company he's within, he kept getting promoted, kept wanting more, and kept putting their personal life on the back burner. That's
and again, it's a choice of hers. She like you see him moving. He's like, all right, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. You see, he's ambitious in his goals, and if that is not on the forefront of his mind, you have a clock. You have an internal clock, so you know whether or not you're gonna stay or you're gonna go. Period. Like that. That's a choice that you make. Again, we're back to the choices that we make, right?
yes. And
So
there's nothing wrong with being ambitious. There are men and women who are out there who are ambitious, but it has to be an equal balance. You have to know how to balance your work life and your personal life. There
if
are
you want
people
to,
who do it. Yes, there are people that they do it. So it
yeah,
is
there are
possible.
people that do it. Yeah, it's possible if you want it to
If
happen.
you want to.
That's it. That's the key word. If that's those are the key words, like they have to want it.
Mhm.
And it seems like he's like, F that, like I'm out of here, man.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. But anyway,
Someone
so
always working and not making time for you.
yeah, I mean that's reality,
That's the reality.
That's reality. So, well, that was a wonderful show. Thank you so much for watching Real Conversation. I am your host, Quanitary.
And I'm your host, Nicole Jones.
And you can find us every Thursday night premiering live on YouTube at real underscore convos underscore podcast. And it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you can also find us on Facebook. Nicole, where you can find us.
At Real Conversation and Real Conversations 2021.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for watching and God bless.